You know, before I get into the meat of this video, I want to talk about something that I'm going to produce on Christmas Eve, while many of you Negroes are busy wrapping your gifts of things that you purchased that you can't afford to try to impress people that you don't like. And you're sitting out your milk and cookies awaiting the arrival of your Santa Claus. I'm going to produce a video dealing with the abortion statistics in black women. And this video is going to center around a conversation that I had the other day with a Crazy 100. He phoned me, and as we conversed, I felt that if there was anyone who could answer a question, it would have to be the brother of logic and common sense. So I asked the Crazy 100, man, why do you think that these Negroes are quiet on these abortion numbers in black women? We proceeded to have a very interesting conversation. I'm going to share more of that in that video that I'm going to produce for y'all on Christmas Eve. I guess it'll be my Christmas present to y'all, since again many of you will be busy awaiting the arrival of Santa Claus. And for those of you Negroes who have got so sophisticated in your blackness that you don't celebrate Christmas anymore, but you will wait for Kwanzaa, and I guess you can watch the video while you pour out some libations for you Negroes. Black Christmas, also known as Kwanzaa. But that's later on in the week. In this video here, there's something that I want you to do. After you view this video, I want you to click on the link in the box. When you click on that link, it's going to take you to a news story out of Houston. A few weeks ago, I guess, Michael Jordan came out with a new tennis shoe. And you just got to see the clip. I mean, it left me perplexed to really understand just how lost this Negro really is. But I want you to look at that link, and while you look at that link, what I want you to pay close attention to is a silence that you don't hear. I mean, you don't mean the silence that you hear, rather, because you don't hear anything coming from these Negroes who say that they're concerned with black folk. I mean, no one has taken it upon themselves to declare war on this kind of behavior. I mean, you won't hear any of the Negroes, and you have Negroes who I imagine who are from Houston, who will spend their time cracking on talking about other black men. But you don't see these Negroes right there in Houston dealing with the fact that you have so many black folk who are in need of re-education, who are in need of help. The Negro don't have time to deal with that. They pretend like it don't even exist, and I'm going to tell you why they do this. Because most of your pro-black, back to Africa, red, black, and green Negroes, I hate white men, not white women, many of whom have biracial children. That segment of pro-blacks, the only time that you will hear them condemning anything is when they can blame white people. If it don't fit this narrative that it's the white man's fault, you won't hear these Negroes say anything about it. This is the reason why you haven't heard a word from these Negroes about what you're going to see in that clip. You haven't heard one word. You haven't seen one video. No declaration of war on that kind of buffoonery. No one will call what you will see in that clip cooning. You won't find nobody placing these individuals on a coon train. You won't see it. It just won't happen. And the reason why that is because you can't blame that on white folk. If Whatever happens, if the behavior, if the actions does not fit a narrative, the pro-black, back to Africa, red, black, and green Negroes will ignore it. It's the same thing. I've told y'all this in many of these videos, and I only restate it here because I want you to really see this. I want you to see it for yourself. It's the same thing that happened with Donald Sterling and his girlfriend. And I've told y'all this in many of my videos. Everybody came down on Donald Sterling, called him every name under the sun. But as soon as that girlfriend came out and defended him and essentially said the same thing as he said, nobody said a word. Nobody declared war on her. No one tried to critique her words. Nobody tried to debunk what she said. Not one word was mentioned to that sister. Don't fit the narrative. In the case of Michael Garner, the Negroes pretend like that black female sergeant, you know, the highest ranking officer that was on the scene, the Negro act like she was an aberration. She was a ghost. She didn't exist. As a matter of fact, if they didn't have video clip and they didn't have images whereby you can see her clearly standing there, if we didn't have that, and somebody would have tell this Negro, you know, there was a black female officer that was on the scene who, you know, could have intervened, but she didn't, the Negro wouldn't believe it. He would say, you lying. But since you have a video and you can see her clearly in the video, if you have images, you can clearly see her in the images. And because she don't fit the narrative, white racist cop chokes black man to death, because that black female officer standing there don't fit the narrative, they pretend like she don't even exist. They don't even mention her. I challenge you to find one video from these pro-black, back to Africa, red, black, and green Negroes who have made videos on Eric Garner and have mentioned that sister. I challenge you. I want to see the video. Please, if there's one, send it to me. I want to see it. But I'm not going to wait, because I know that the Negro, he's not going to deal with that because that don't fit the narrative. If he can't take the issue and wrap it like a Christmas package and present it and sit it on the doorstep of the ongoing legacy of slavery, white supremacy, white exploitation, if he can't sit that package right there, he's not going to deal with it. And because he cannot blame white folk for the actions of these Negroes that's in that video clip that I'm telling you to go view after you watch this video, because he can't blame white folks for that, they ain't going to mention it. They're going to pretend like it don't even exist. But here's the hypocrisy in this, is that the Negroes who will turn a blind eye to that behavior that you see in that video clip, no one will call this corny. No one will call them black buffoon. No one declares war on them. No one will sit back and put their image in videos. They won't do none of that to that behavior. But now, if you offer a different opinion, then you're, you know, coon, you're a buffoon, coon train, you know, you're the worst thing that happened to black America. I mean, can you begin to see the complete insanity with these Negroes? I mean, it makes no sense. It completely makes no sense. And the only reason why I highlight it once again is because here you have another classic example of how this Negro don't want solutions. I've been telling y'all that, and every chance I get, I'm going to prove it to you. Every single chance that I get that I can highlight for you the outright buffoonery in these Negroes, I'm going to show it to you. Because you can't get no better example than this. When you click on that link and go look at that. And how can you sit back as a pro-black, back to Africa, red, black, and green, I hate white men, not white women, taking care of your bride, where's your children? I mean, how can you sit there and get his behavior passed? How can you not declare war on this type of buffoonery? How do you sit there and not try to critique this? And then if you're from Houston, how can you idly sit by and twiddle your thumbs while you make video after video after video talking about people, cracking on people, and you have this going on right there where you reside, and you love black folks so much that you ain't down there trying to re-educate them, you're not trying to organize the communities to do anything about this buffoonery, you pretend it don't exist because you can't blame white folks for it. So now at the end of the day, how sincere can we consider you, bruh? I mean, how serious should we take you when you refuse to get your hands dirty and deal with the people that you say you love? You say you love black folk. I didn't say that, you said that. But now right here in your hometown, you got them acting a complete fool over tennis shoes. And you okay with that? And I have to conclude that you're okay with it because you haven't declared war on it. And you only declare war on people that you disagree with. You declare war on people's opinions that you disagree with and people's behavior that you disagree with. So I got to conclude that you are okay with this because you're siding on it. By default, you're okay with it. I mean, I'm going to show y'all every chance I get to show you the utter buffoonery of this Afro-American pro-black Negro. I'm not going to miss the opportunity. I'm going to seize it every chance that I get. If it don't fit the narrative, if they can't blame Whitey, they're not going to address it. They're going to pretend like it don't exist. The only thing that these Negroes are going to spend their time hooping and hollering about is stuff that they can lay at the feet of white folk. Once you understand this, a lot of shit makes sense. Because at the end of the day,